So quick introduction, my name is Meili Onveral, and I run the product team at Tokbox. What we've built is a real-time communication platform that lets you add voice, video, text chat, and screen sharing to any web or mobile app. Our current customers include financial companies like RBS, a slew of telehealth companies, a slew of education companies. We're also really starting to pick up in the broadcast space, so companies like crowdcast.io. We'll talk about all these different use cases as we go through the deck. But what I want to talk about today is why very soon, using the technology we've built at Tokbox, you're not going to need people at a branch again. And even without people at the branch, you're going to maintain the face-to-face aspect of banking that makes it valuable to customers, lose the liability and the cost that comes with branches, and also improve your customer satisfaction scores and your NPS scores. All things we've seen with our own customers as they've moved to include us in their digital properties. But before we get to the how, and I show you the demo, I want you to meet some of the people who are going to take us on this journey. First, there's Uncle Rick. Uncle Rick is a baby boomer. Everyone has an Uncle Rick. He's the kind of guy who doesn't use the ATM outside because he wants to go inside and talk to the tellers. And if they didn't have a lunch break, he talks to them all day. Everything he's done at the bank has always been face-to-face and in person, whether it was his mortgage, his life insurance, his kids' college savings, his own retirement planning. And it's not that he's a Luddite. He's not anti-technology. He just likes that face-to-face experience. He does use technology. He video chats with his kids who live halfway across the country. But when his bank moved to video tellers, he was really frustrated. You see, Uncle Rick doesn't understand why you need to have a video teller in a bank branch. Why can't you just have your video teller in your bank app and talk to them from the comfort of your own home? On the other end of the spectrum, you have Sarah. Sarah's a millennial, and like most of the people in her generation, despises going into a bank branch. Sarah really doesn't have that complex of a financial situation. She has one savings account, she has one checking account, and just like every other millennial, a ton of college debt. And one day when she pays off that college debt, she's going to live the American dream, white picket fence and all. She has no idea what a mortgage is. She has no idea how a mortgage works, but she assumes that there's an app for that. And stuck between Uncle Rick and Sarah is Bob the banker. Bob the banker's in trouble because Uncle Rick's not buying financial products anymore, and Sarah doesn't want to come into the branch. And it gets worse. Bob the banker has to have an hour commute from his home to the bank, and it's an hour commute home, so he never gets to see his kids. He has no idea how he's going to make his business viable. So he's got a real dilemma. It doesn't help that 71% of millennials polled have said that they would rather visit a dentist than go into a bank branch. So what are we going to do? How are we going to solve Bob's problem? On one side, he's got to think about that face-to-face relationship, the thing that makes banking and financial services so unique. But if you're face-to-face, that means having a branch. It means having a physical location. There's costs associated with that, maintenance, the real estate, making sure there are people in the branch. And on the flip side, he's got to invest in the future. He's got to acquire new customers. But Sarah has no interest in walking in a bank. But a consensus is emerging in the industry about what to do. 70% of financial institutions believe that by 2020, video chat will be a key part of how they communicate with their customers. And almost 2/3 of banks believe that a digital-only proposition is going to be a viable option in the future. So can a bank have its cake, that high-touch, face-to-face relationship with its clients, and eat it too, delivered through a low-cost, digital-only experience? I think it's pretty obvious that I think the answer is yes. So what I want to do today is just show you how. So let's dive right in. Here we've got Bill Smith. He's a financial advisor. He stayed at home today. He didn't have to go into the office. He sees that he has an appointment with Justin, so he's going to go ahead and load it up. He's going to hop into the call. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself so that I don't echo to myself, but normally he wouldn't. He's going to go ahead and start archiving because he wants to make sure that this is, oh, sorry folks, my fault. He wants to make sure that this is archived so that, oh, I'll show you all the different buttons again. There's our archiving button. I've muted it because in the future, when Uncle Rick wants to figure out what they talked about, he can just go check out the archive. The archive is encrypted, it's safely stored. If you need it for compliance, you've got all the pieces that you need. On the other side, nope, the magic where's your mouse? We've got an appointment set up. Let's go ahead and hop into that meeting. I'm going to go ahead and join that call. Again, I'll mute myself just so we don't create an echo. So now here we are. We've got, oh, let me make sure. Yep. All right, the live demo parrot Odyssey. So what's going to happen is that the advisor and the client are going to be able to see each other, and we're going to be able to start to screen share. The screen share is important because I don't want to have to talk to people when they're remote about things that we can't see together. And then the context of that screen share is then going to be something that we can add to the archive. We can actually draw on it. So we're looking at something together. You see a spike in performance somewhere, you can circle it and you can say, hey, what happens here? And then you guys can actually talk that out. Because it's in context, when you circle something, you say, what's that? You actually know what the person on the other side is talking about. Let me just do a quick refresh and see if we can re-kickstart this, just so you guys can see it in action. All right. Okay. That's okay. We'll keep going. We'll have another demo, and maybe we'll be able to show it off there. All right. So the benefits here for each party. The financial advisor didn't have to leave home. He got to work from his home office. Uncle Rick didn't have to go across town. He got to do it from the comfort of his own home and then head to the backyard and work on his roses. And the bank gets a high-touch, high-quality customer service experience, and they don't need to maintain branches or offices. But I know what you're thinking. I don't have time to figure out video chat. I have so many other things on my roadmap. I'm falling behind already. How the heck does this apply to me? Well, let me show you. Let's see if I can code sideways. So about 5 years ago, I became the franchisee of my own bank. This is a funny bank. No money ever goes in. Money only ever goes out. And I'm sure that there are people in this room who are franchisees of this bank as well. It's called the Bank of Dad. And so what I have here is I have the dad side. So what I would do here is I would say join the call. Yeah, let's refresh. There we go. And then what we're going to do is in 3 very simple steps, we're going to build the other side so that my 5-year-old can call me and ask for, Elsa toys or high heels or whatever it is that 5-year-olds are into. And so in 3 steps, 1, we're going to add a JavaScript file. 2, we're going to add some, did we get it? Yep. We're going to add some CSS. And if you wanted to customize this yourself, you could. You can have completely your own experience on brand. It's your users. And then 3, just this blob of code here, which is just initializing the experience so that people can join. Let me first switch over to the app. So here we are. I'm the dad side. That side's working. The call dad button here doesn't work yet. We're just going to hit save on this file. We're going to refresh. We didn't copy and paste correctly. That's my fault. We're going to hit call dad, join the call. Oh, there we go. It works this time. And there we are. We're in our chat. Amelia can ask me for things. She has the option to text chat with me if she wants to send me a link to the Amazon of what she wants to buy. With another 10 minutes, we could add screen sharing. The screen sharing functionality automatically comes with the annotation we talked about before. So in 3 simple steps, you have audio, video, and text chat. With one more step, about 10 minutes worth of work, you're going to have screen sharing and annotation. With about an hour's worth of work, plugging this into your already existing dashboard, you have a full end-to-end audio-video ability in all of your digital products. So we've shown you web today. We also have a mobile experience. But fundamentally, the reason that you want to choose the Tokbox Wealth Management solution, it's easy to embed. It's going to reduce your time to market. Best practice is implementation of real-time communications. You don't want to become an expert in real-time communication. Let us be the experts, and we're going to just let you focus on customer experience and the things that you need to make your bank successful. And finally, it's your users, it's your brand. You don't want to send them to Skype or Google Hangouts or FaceTime. You don't want people exchanging user IDs or talking about, this is what I'm going to be available or not available. You want to build that experience. You want it to look like your brand, and you want it to look like your experience. So, we're going to continue to be in a world of a mixed model between having branches, banks continuing to invest in their digital properties, the baby boomers aging out, and millennials becoming the driving customer for the financial services industry. But across the wealth management use case that we saw, the talk to the teller use case that we saw, whether it's management consultation, verifying your ID for being able to open an account, the Tokbox technologies that we've built and the vertical packages that we're building on top of our platform are going to make it so that you can build a first-in-class experience for all of your fintech use cases. So we'll close really quickly with why you'll never need people in a branch again. Tokbox lets you add face-to-face to any of your digital products, web or mobile. Face-to-face interactions are key to how banks deliver great customer service. And I think we all know customer service leads to brand loyalty. And when you can do that from the comfort of your own home, you've created an entirely new experience that takes away the need for a branch, the costs and the liabilities associated with it, and lets people have the high-touch banking experience that they've come to expect from the comfort of their own homes. That's it. Thank you very much.